That's why we have seen various reports layouts like resource layout and runtime generate layout, which is RTF, and manual RTF with the help of BAP Publisher plugin. Okay, just we have seen how to upload these RTFs and how to override the same. And we have seen a couple of properties like how to change the default layouts from PDF to Excel to PDF, and how to enable output formats and among whichever Oracle is provided, CSV and XML, and how to set as a default output, and how to inactive and deactive these layouts, and how to view these reports which is view online. That is, we'll see very in detailing personally. Okay. Now, in the same way, we have seen how to create the data model parameters, right? Simply, yesterday we have created one of the parameter, which is optional parameter, which is supplier number, and we have seen how to, with a single value and without value, how to get the results that we have seen. Today we'll continue the same on the data model properties. So, in order to navigate the reports tools, and this is reports and analytics. This is browse catalog. So this is our report which have been created. This is the data model with the same. Can someone mute if you're not out? Okay. So I'm trying to create one more data set here, which is site. Something. The site table is supplier site table is select star from pivot supplier sites underscore v. Okay. So here I am trying to first try to verify the data. Pivot supplier sites v table. So this is our sites table data. I have effective start date, end date, vendor site ID, and effective sequence, vendor ID, procurement view ID, location ID, party site ID, vendor site code, and purchasing. So a couple of columns are here. Just we'll try to get a couple of columns here. So I'm trying to get vendor ID, which is the primary key of your here the foreign key vendor ID from POJ supply site 3, whereas primary key in your POJ suppliers table. Okay, when you join these two tables, you will get a primary key and foreign key data. Vendor associated sites you will get. Okay, this is vendor ID, and vendor site ID is the primary key of this table. Vendor site code and effective start date, effective end date. Just try to pick a couple of columns. Now you can view the data. So now we are picking a couple of columns: vendor site ID, effective end date, start date, and vendor ID, and this is vendor site code. Now I want to see the data vendor associated vendor sites here. Vendor associated vendor sites. As of now, if you see, the both data sets are able to get the data irrespective of any relationship. If you see 200 records or 50 records, this is vendor IDs, vendor name, and this is your vendor sites. There is no relationship between your vendor data set and your supplier and supplier site data set. There is no relationship. So now we'll try to add a relationship between these two data sets. So as you know, in EBS application for RDF reports, we have data link concept is available in order to join two data sets or two data groups. If you want to join anything in RDF reports, we are able to create, or we have an option which is data link. The same data link is also available here in order to join two data sets, which is primary key to foreign key. So when you're trying to join two data sets, obviously you need to select the primary keys and foreign keys, both the data sets. In the G1, I have vendor ID is a primary key and G2 vendor ID is my foreign key. So you can join these vendor ID to vendor ID so that you are able to see the data, which is vendor associated vendor sites. Okay. Now select the G1 group, or this is a vendor ID. Select target column, create link. There is option create link. Just click on the create link. Now you can see whichever groups are available in your data set. As of now, G2 group is available. Already we have selected G1.vendor ID. Now it is saying for which column you are trying to add this G1.vendor ID among your groups. For example, if you have G2 group, G3 group, G4 group, so on so. So if you have any of these columns, just you can, if you have multiple data groups, just you can select this vendor ID for which group column you are trying to join. So I'm trying to join G1.vendor ID, which is G2.vendor ID. Just try to enable the same. Just click on OK. Now the join condition is enabled between these two data sets. Okay. These two data sets, the join condition is nothing but the link is enabled. So there is a lock symbol you can see here. If you see, when you place your mouse on the lock symbol, you can see there is a orange dot color, which is a join condition representation between your G1 group and G2 group. There is a join condition representation you are able to see between vendor ID to vendor ID from G1 group to G2 group. The same way here, there is a circle is available here, G1.vendor ID equal to G2.vendor ID. It is saying this is a join condition between these two data groups. If I want to delete this join condition, select this circle and just there is a into symbol is available in order to delete your data link. Just try to click on the same, it will try to delete the same. So again, try to add, create the link. This is vendor ID, just click on OK and save the data. Now you can see the data vendor associates sites. This is your vendor number 10004. 10004 related sites are 2. I have 2 sites. The same way, this is my vendor name and vendor name this vendor related site. And this is 10007. There is no sites are available. Okay, so if you see like that, you can see the multiple data here. So this 10003 vendor have many sites here. If you see, couple of sites are available. Okay, so this is the relationship between your in order to join your data link. So what you will do in the real time, just do not add the complete length of select statement in a single group. Try to add these data sets as soon, as much as you can to divide the SQL statement, which is easier, and try to add this data links so that you are able to see expected data output. And in future, if you want to debug, it will be very easy in order to debug your SQL statement. Okay, if you have a capability to build your SQL statement, which is in a lengthy process in a single group, you can. But my best suggestion is to do always you can try to divide your groups into set of groups and try to join with one group to another group. Okay, this is your join condition between two data sets. Okay, now
does the performance issues resolve by doing different data sets?
No, you won't see any performance issues here. This is already.
So if we do it in under like a supplier site and suppliers, right? We can merge onto one data set, like single query, right? Instead of two data sets.
That is also same, become of the same representation.
Yeah, I know, but we creating two different data sets, will it affect performance? Will it be more good and accurate?
No, you won't see any performance issues between these two, because since you are adding the joint condition between your primary key to foreign key, right?
Okay.
So you won't see any performance issues. This is a right joint condition.
Okay.
Okay. Now just try to delete the same here. Now you can merge the same with your vendor. We'll try to add one more parameter here. Now I'm trying to merge same as the she suggested. See, we'll try to add one parameter here. Now this is supplier. POZ supplier sites site, and this is supplier dot vendor ID site dot vendor ID. Now I'm trying to add one more parameter here, which is vendor site code in of p site, comma, if there is no value, I will be pass this vendor site. Okay. Now you can write an alias here, supplier dot supplier number and site dot vendor site code and site dot something effective start date. Okay, so this is my SQL statement. Simply I am trying to match with a supplier and supplier sites table, and there is a joint condition between vendor ID to vendor ID. So here
machine that the site.
Now just try to add the same here. Just click on OK. Now this site parameter is not added our parameter section, since we are provided in our SQL statement. If the same parameter is not available in your parameter section, it will prompt, when I add this parameter in your parameter section. Yes, I need this parameter. Simply just enable the checkbox and click on OK. It will add a parameter for us. This is a P site, and you can provide a site. This is site name. Just try to save the same. Okay. Now if you see, you can see the site and supplier number. First, I want to place an order. Supplier number is the first position and site is the second position. So in order to make the adjust of the positions, there is a site and supplier number parameter section. Here you can see the reorder is available. Reorder. Just try to, there is up and down arrow marks would be there. Just you can play with the same so that you can reshuffle your parameters, or you can adjust the same. Just I am trying to move the P site to the next before the supplier number. Just try to save the work. Okay. Now you can enter the data 10004. So this is my 10004 supplier, and this is my supplier data. And in the same way, you can enter 10004, comma 10005. If you get the data 10004 and 10005. Now, since we are passed a comma separated data here, the comma separated, when you pass on comma separated data, you need to enable the checkbox here at the parameter level. Text field contains comma separated value, just enable the same and try to save the work and try to verify if you are able to see the output or not. So here you are getting an error, invalid number of arguments. Since this is correct, right? 10004, 10005 is correct, and we are enable the checkbox at sub parameter level also. So why we are getting this error, invalid parameter requested, where we need to handle in order to resolve this issue? Anyone?
Yeah, in the SQL query that we have written.
Yes, SQL query, instead of segment 1, you can go for in. Okay, so you can go for the in segment 1 so that it will accept multiple values. Try to delete the site. Just remove the NVL, try to add this. Now you can see the data, 1004, 1005 suppliers. These parameters you won't see it when you are able to see the data table level. When you see the data tree view, there is a parameter section available here. P supplier number followed by 2 parameters and the site is the blank. Okay. Now you can hardcode the data for Houston, which is the site. Now you can verify the same. Same you are able to see only 104 and followed by the co-Houston, which is 104 only supplier. Okay. Now, as of now, we are hard-coded data for supplier number and the site, right? As of now, we are hard-coded the supplier number and sites. I don't want to be hard-code this data. I want to be provide an LOV list of values, which is supplier numbers and the sites, which is supplier number and sites. So how you are going to create an LOV is nothing but there is a separate section LOV is available. Simply you can go for a LOVs list of values section and try to create LOV, and LOV you can associate with your parameters so that you are able to see the LOVs here. Okay. So before that, before creating for LOVs, first we'll see. Okay. Now here, this is supplier number, which is we are passing some values, right? Now let's remove these values. Just click on the view. We are getting the blank data. Since we are removed NVL condition, NVL won't support with your and NVL. So how can I get the data when I, since it is an optional parameter? So there is a possible to enter the blank values in order to see the full data. So how can I handle the same when you use in class? So further here, you can add one more condition, or supplier number is null. You can use any one least of. You can use any one of the function. Just you can make it as 1 equal to 1 condition. That's it. Okay. Just add this least of P supply number is null. Least of P supply number is nothing but null. Null is null. When you are not pass this value, obviously it will goes to the OR condition. It will check OR condition. Null is null. Simply it will 1 equal to 1 condition. It will write execute your select statement. Okay. Now you are able to see the data for all the suppliers, whereas your supplier number is blank. Right?
Vijay, I have a question here.
Yeah, tell me.
So right now you are under one data set, right? You have the
Yes.
query under one data set. So when you are writing the query with two different data sets, how do you handle the parameters? Where do we need to define at each data set level? Let's say
Yes.
supplier number is under supplier
Yes.
table, right? Supplier
Yes.
site is under the supplier site table.
Correct. Let me add this. Vendor ID and this is your supplier. This is one of our data set. This site, select the database, and this is the SQL statement. Okay. Now you can verify the data. Co-host. So obviously we'll get the data for your vendor site.
Is it the same with the enabled underscore flag also when we try to give the parameter?
Yeah, because this parameter will be work for your whole data set, not only for specific data set.
Okay.
Okay, that's clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Okay, let's remove this. You will get confused. Now, okay, this is how you are going to handle your optional parameter. Okay, in class, in real time, mostly we will follow this method in order to satisfy your parameters, which is optional. Okay. Now we'll try to create a list of values here. This list of values is one of the data model component, same as the parameter section. Just try to create a list of values, which is supplier LOB and SQL query. Type is SQL query and fixed data. Whereas in EBS, we do have independent, dependent, we do have a couple of value sets, right? Independent value set, dependent value set, table value set, none value set, pair value set, something translation dependent, translation independent value sets would be available. So here only two types of LOVs would be available, SQL query and fixed data. Fixed data is nothing but same as your independent value set. SQL query is nothing but just you can connect your database and try to write your select statements. Okay. So first we'll see the SQL query or okay. First we'll see the SQL query, then after we'll see the fixed data. So now you can select the database here, write your SQL statements here. Segment 1 from POZ suppliers. So I have the segment 1 from POZ suppliers, which is my supplier number. Just try to save the same. Now just navigate to your supplier number parameter. Change your supplier number parameter type from text to menu. Text to menu. So when you change the text to menu, here you can see the list of values properties will be enabled by default when you change the parameter type from text to menu. So here the list of values, you can see the supplier LOB. As of now, we do have only one LOB. The reason it is showing by default supplier LOB. If you have n number of LOBs here, the list of values section, you are able to see n number of LOBs here. Among these, you can select your target LOB. Okay, among these, you can select the target LOB. So here by default, the number of values to display in the list is 100. If you want to change anything, you can change. I'm trying to select 10. So if you want to select the multiple values, you can use multiple selection. Can select all, null value passed, all values passed. We'll see later. This is okay. Just try to save the work. Now you can observe the same. This is supplier number. Okay, this is not reflecting. It is not reflecting. Just try to reopen the data model. Just click on the catalog, edit, data. Now you see supplier number, which is your parameters, which are 10 values are displaying in a LOB. The list of values are displaying 10 records at a time here. So this is your list of values. Okay. Now select value and just click on view the result. So this is your vendor ID and vendor site code and effective start date, so and so. Okay. Now I want to see sites also as an LOB. Again, create an LOB here. Just click on the new. This is site LOB and select the database and write an SQL statement here. Select the vendor site code from POZ supplier sites 3. As of now, you can select only site codes. Now again, navigate to the parameter. Select the site parameter type to text to menu. And you can select the list of values, which is site. And the values you can select as of now. Just try to save the work. Try to view the data. Still, it is not reflecting. Just try to change some attributes here so that you are able to see. Okay. Just look at the catalog. edit the data model. So this is your supplier number and this is your site. I'm trying to pass supplier number and site to my parameter. This is not a right combination in order to fetch the data for supplier number and the site. Supplier number, irrespective of suppliers, I have to see all supplier numbers. Irrespective of supplier numbers, I can see all your sites. So here my next requirement is when you select 8050, I want to see 8050 related sites here. Irrespective of all the sites, I want to see your supplier related sites here when you select a supplier number value. That is, you need to set an independent value set, same as independent value sets concept we need to set with help of SQL statement. Okay. So in order to achieve the same, just go to the supplier site LOV here, where vendor ID equal. Write one more select statement here. Site deposit suppliers and site dot vendor ID equal supplier dot vendor ID, and so here I have a supplier's number value where segment 1 equal your parameter, which is p underscore site. Okay, you need to pass your site parameter value to your segment 1. Already we are holding supplier number, right? This is supplier number. So we are passing a supplier number value for our select statement, and your select statement will get executed at runtime, and you can see the site supplier related sites in your LOB. So how this select statement get executed runtime along with your value is nothing but there is a trigger is available, refresh other parameter on change against your parameter. This is supplier number and this is refresh other parameters on change. Okay, so when you select any value in your parameter against supplier number, the next parameters, immediate whichever next parameters are there, those parameters will be refreshed. Refresh is nothing but automatically your site LOV can be executed followed by your supplier number. Just enable the same and try to verify the same. So this is all. This is 8050. Now the refresh should be happen. Now you can see 8050 site disease. Now we can view the data, which is the right combination disease. Okay. The way you can set dependency between two parameters. So how you are going to set? Take a secondary parameter and pass, just navigate to the target LOV and pass your primary parameter value and enable refresh other parameter on change on your primary parameter. And when you select the value against your primary parameter, automatically refresh will be happen since we are enabling a checkbox. So automatically your second LOV can be executed and you are able to see the target values.
From where are we getting that segment 1 in the SQL query?
Sorry?
The segment 1 that you have mentioned in the SQL query, what is the reference to that?
Segment 1 we are fetching from pivot suppliers table, right?
Okay.
Okay, this is complete our select statement. Further select statement, simply you are passing the supplier number.
So we are passing the exact name of the first LOB name.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Pass the correct parameter name here.
Okay.
Your second LOB, you need to pass the first parameter value, which one you want to execute as a runtime.
So Vijay, here we have only two parameters, right? Let's say we have 4 parameters. Will it be the same? We have to put all the like
Yeah, that is
join.
depends on your requirement. Exactly.
Okay.
Depends on your requirement. You can set it as same. The same concept would be work.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is right. Now segment 1 comma, I'm trying to add vendor ID. So always when you pass segment ID, so it will get some performance issues, right? So obviously you can pass an vendor IDs instead of names. You can pass vendor IDs. So internally for display purpose, it will show the segment 1 in your LOVs. Internally, it will pass vendor IDs to your select statement. Okay. When you followed by segment 1 followed by vendor ID. Now just you can verify the same here. This is 8050. Let's try to refresh. Now you see supplier number is nothing but your vendor ID. For a display purpose, it is showing 8050 is nothing but your supplier numbers. But as an internal, it is passing the values which is supplier numbers. Now, in order to get the result, what we can change? We need to change our SQL statement here. Okay. Now, so here you can pass vendor ID, supplier dot vendor ID, same. Okay. Now you can use the same select statement in order to get data. Now you are able to see the data which is vendor ID related data. Now the movement for supplier site OV, simply can remove everything here. Simply can pass vendor ID. It's not required supplier site table and it's not required the join condition. Simply what you need to pass vendor ID equal the supplier number. Try to save the same. Just go to the catalog and try to edit the same. Data, and this is 8050 and this is your site. Okay, now you are able to see the data. Okay, this is how this independent parameter concept will be work. Mostly we will implement this solution in the real time for all the reports in order to get the data for one parameter, another parameter, which is we need to get a right combination. Okay, any doubts, any clarification so far, especially parameter concept?
Vijay, how we will know we will encounter performance issues? Like just now you said that, right? If we select
Performance, yes, performance issues. There is a in the diagram. If you edit the data set, there is a generate explain plan is available here. Just click on the generate explain plan. It will enable the complete explain plan, and you can follow these full scans. If any full scans are available, simply it will hit a performance issue. Okay, you need to follow this SQL plan in order to work on these performance issues.
Vijay, one more question is like,
Yes.
how can user search the parameter value like using wildcard search also? If
The wildcard
we
search
have,
is nothing but, let me check this. Okay, this is supplier number. Instead of parameter type, you can go for the search. This is search list of values and refresh other parameters and change.
okay.
Data. And okay, here it won't give the complete values. Okay. This is the search.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now we can go. This is also not working. This is segment 1. Like this. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah,
The data.
got it. And like
Mostly we will-
because in R12 we have something like we can search or user can search the parameter value using meaning or value as well. So
meaning value is nothing but same as whichever we paused right now by IDs. The same concept you need to follow.
okay, so in the LOV we cannot have both like
No,
vendor
no, we
number
do not
and
have
then
like
vendor name.
no, we do not have like that. Whereas
Okay.
ESS, when we register this report as ESS job, end user doesn't have an access to reports and analytics, right? In real time. Simply we will register this report as ESS job, same as our concurrent program. Okay. With help of
Okay.
ESS job, end user will execute this report. At the ESS job level, we will see how to achieve the same. There is an automation process will be available. There we will see how we can get when we select a value and what is the value we need to pass the internal. Okay.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Okay. Now let's go to the catalog. Now the dates. The dates are somewhat tricky part in our SaaS application, especially the BAP report dates are somewhat tricky part. It will not act as your Oracle date formats. It will not act as your Oracle date formats. It is complete a Java date formats here. Here we need to follow complete Java date formats. So in order to change from Java date format to your Oracle date format, we need to follow instructions. Okay. So here there's effective start date is available here. So when you see the data here, effective start date. This is my effective start dates. If you observe the date here, this is followed by the date, and there is a T is available. This is time zone and followed by your time zone. This is complete your Java date format. In generally for Oracle date format, you cannot see this T, right? Simply you can see the time format HH, MM, and SI, something seconds, hours, minutes, and seconds. But here something, this is Java date format. Let's apply a toChar function to here in order to change my date format. toChar dd on yy. To start date, and I'm trying to add the same column. Something new, effective start date and effective start date. Just click on OK. Now if you see here, this is effective start date is the actual column, and this new effective start date is something 14/9/2016. But we are given the format which is DD MON format. MON format. So what is the representation here? What is expected is 14th of 9 is nothing but over September SCP. It should be display SCP and followed by 2016. But it is still displaying something a different format. So if you want to change the date format to your own format, which is Oracle date format, you need to use, there is a keyword NLS date language, which is American. So for this, so here you can pass in a single quote NLS date language, which is American. Okay. Use this keyword if you want to apply any toChar function your date columns. Use this NLS date language American keyword if you want to change your date into your own format. If you want to apply toChar. Okay, just use the same. Now you can see the expected date format here. Okay, do remember this is most important. Most of the real-time reports will apply this function. or this keyword we'll use in order to change the date format for display purpose. Okay. Now, just create one more parameter, something date. Trying to create one list of values, right? This is just navigate to the parameters, and this is date. I'm trying to create one date parameter here, and the parameter, when you select the data type is date, automatically parameter type would be changed to date. Okay, I'm trying to position in the last. Let's try to see the same. My supplier and data. Okay, there is no heading we are given, right? This is date. Start date. This is your date related properties. Text field size, how many digits you want to display. Ignore user time zone. Yes, I want to ignore user time zone. The date format strings. User wants to change, or if user wants to request any specific date formats in order to display the data, or in order to display date format, while selecting this date against your parameter, you need to change the date format, which is must be Java date format, not Oracle date format. For example, I'm going to provide here instead of I'm going to provide MONDDYYY. So it won't accept your Oracle date formats. Always it will be accept your Java date format. So how will you find the Java date formats? So before that, first we'll see the parameter here. So your start date, just 25th, just click on OK. 08, 25, 20, 21, nothing but DD, YYY, YYYY format is available. So if you want to change any format here for a display purpose, okay, there is a Java date format article will be available here. So date formats.
You paused it. It was there in the first link. Yeah, there.
Yeah, Java dates. The date format configuration, one of the article will be available. OER you can find here. This is a default date format will be available. Okay, you need to provide only this date formats if you want to change any date formats. Other than this, it's not possible to provide any date format. Just I'm trying to copy this, and this is my date, and this is my format. So it will accept. Just save the same supplier, just diagram, data, and you can save the same. Just click on OK. Now you can date format can be changed here as per expectation. Okay. So the way you can use the date formats in display purpose, only Java date formats. If you want to change the select statement formats, you obviously can use NLS date language, which is American, followed by the toChar function. Okay. And I want to display the start date as a default date. So there is a specific keyword is available in order to display a date function. So this is the date. So I want to display the date, which is a default value as a sysdate. So this is the keyword. So you can use the keyword like this. So followed by braces, followed by on, followed by sysdate, and followed by open close braces. This is syntax where you can use your sysdate as a default value. Okay, just try to save. Just go to the catalog. So when you open the data model, immediately it will show the default value against your parameter. This is the data. Now you can see by default, you can see the date. So I want to display my date default value, which is -10. So subtract the dates, which is the -10, and it will display as a default date. This is 25th. Catalog. Edit. state -1. So it won't showing anything. In general, this is syntax you can use. Okay, now you can use like this. The -10, whichever you want to add or subtract, you can use this date followed by -10 followed by symbols. Okay, you can use this syntax in order to change your date, subtract or add. The same way, I want to display the date in a specific date from and to. This is specific date from and to. So you can hard code the dates here as per your requirement, date from and to. So I'm trying to add something 2000 is 25th, right? 2108 this, and this is 28. The calendar will show only these 25th, 26th, 27th, 28. These 4 days you can see in your date. Then you can refresh. '25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. When you select 30, when you select the 30, so you will get an error. Enter date is in a not range. Please enter a date between in these two dates. So you can restrict the user if you want specific dates. Okay. So this is all about dates, how you can use the dates.
So Vijay, here in the parameter p_date, we haven't provided this parameter in the query, right? Does it take automatically?
Yeah, no. You need to create a parameter, right? The SQL statement here. This is.
We haven't added, right?
No, we haven't added this. Effective start date, which is p date. You need to add like this.
Oh, it always has to be there in the SQL query also.
Yeah, exactly. Then only you will get the data.
Okay. I mean, just now you created, it didn't throw
No.
any error message. So I was like,
No, we haven't added anything here. When you create any parameter, obviously your parameter should be integrated with your SQL statement in order to get expected results.
got it.
Okay. So this is all about your parameters, LOVs, and dependency parameters, and some search parameter, and your date parameters. Now we'll see the summary columns and the formula columns concept. If you want to aggregate any function, if you want to perform any aggregate function from date to end date, Sandeep already I have shown, right? From date to end date. Sandeep, what is your question? If you want to use an SQL statement, you can use between, which is from date and to date. Otherwise, if you want to use a date, if you want to restrict in the calendar wise, you can add date from and to. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and Vijay, one more thing, can we write SQL statement as default value of parameter?
No, you cannot.
Future?
You cannot. Whereas
Oh,
in UV,
okay.
right? Super.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. Okay. We'll try to create one more data model. Just new and the data model. Select SQL query and something invoices. Select from AP invoices all. This is our invoice table. Invoices all. First, we'll verify the data and we'll try to pick a couple of columns here. This is invoice ID, vendor ID, invoice currency code. Just try to get some columns. Invoice ID, something vendor ID, and invoice currency code, and followed by invoice number, and followed by invoice amount, followed by amount paid. So these are more enough for us. Let's go to this, add your select loss. Let's click on it. Now you are able to see the data for a couple of columns here. This is my invoice ID, vendor ID, this is my invoice number, and invoice currency code, invoice amount, and amount paid. Now save this report, save folders, where we are saving the reports next. GP10 folder will be available. This is GP10. Invoice data model. Just click on OK. Now add one more data set, which is for lines. Lines, which is invoice lines. Select from AP invoice lines or just you can view the data and we'll try to pick a couple of columns here again. So here I have invoice ID, and line type lookup code, and something description, and there is a line amount. This is amount. This is unit price. This is more enough. Click on OK and save. Now you can verify the data. Now you can see the data irrespective of any records here. There is a relationship between these two data sets. We'll add the data link, which is invoice ID to invoice ID. Just create the link, add a relationship between G2.invoice ID. Just try to save the data and view the data here. You can see invoice lines here. This is my invoice and this is my amount and so on. So if I want to perform my invoice line total, I want to see the invoice line total in my G1 group. So in order to perform any aggregate function, there is an option is available here. Drop here for aggregate function, drop here for an aggregate function, and this is global level function by default. Drop here for aggregate function. When you drop any numeric related columns, you can drop and drag a numeric related columns. For example, amount. You cannot drop any numeric columns on the same group. You cannot create an aggregate function on the same group. Okay, just you can use this amount into the other field. Amount. This is CS1 be created. you can perform these many aggregate functions: count, average, first, last, maximum, minimum, and summary. Whichever you want, you can use. I'm trying to use a summary here. Just go to the edit option here, properties, and you can change column name. Line total. The function I'm trying to apply summary. The data type, whichever you want. Value if null, I'm trying to pass 0. If you want to round, apply any values for round, you can apply. Just click. Okay, this is my line total. And now you can verify the data. You see here, this is amount paid is 0. There is a line total. Okay. This is the line total 0, line total 2000. Table view representation. This is G1 total, nothing but your 100. This is amount, line amount is 100 and the total amount is 100. So this is 50 and 500 would be there and the total would be 550. 50 and 500 is there, your total is 550. The way you can perform an aggregate function. The same way, I want to perform this amount paid. I want to see the complete invoice related total amount. This amount paid, I'm trying to drag and drop to the global level functions. So I'm trying to perform summary and the properties and total invoice amount. The default value is 0. If null, I'm trying to pass 0. Okay. Just click on the data. View. So here you won't see any invoice related total here. Okay, always you can see the line total only. So if you want to see the invoice related total, just you can verify the data in a tree view mode only at the last. As of now, we are verifying the data, which is 5 set of records, right? This 5 set of records, total invoice amount is 0. It is showing 0. As of now. Just try to export the data. It is showing 0. Why total invoice amount is 0? Invoice amount is 0. Okay, we are picked wrong.
No, you have picked paid, amount paid, not invoice amount.
Just try to get an invoice amount. This is invoice amount, summary, and the properties. Total invoice 1, something 1, and 0. Just click on OK. Now we can see the data here. This is total invoice amount for these 5 records. The same way when you run this report at runtime, you can see the total, the complete total invoice amount, and you can use this amount in your RTF as per your requirement. If you want to display the total amount on your RTF, simply you can use this concept, which is summary column, and you can get this value and display in your RTF. This is how you can use aggregate functions. The same way I want to perform, this is amount. So I'm trying to perform something count. This is my count. Properties. Line count. This is a line count. Just click on OK. So if there is no value, the default value I'm trying to pass 0. So this is line count is 1 and this is line count is 2. This is 50 records. There are more lines would be available. This is 3 lines would be there. This is 3 lines. 3,300 is your total amount, and I can see that line count is 3. The way you can perform your aggregate functions. Okay. This is how you can use aggregate functions. Tomorrow we'll see how to use the formula columns. can apply some formulas, and the formula column will be act as your same table level column, and it will repeat for each row. That's it for today.